not only more fun, but the confidence, the optimism, and I think the reality has set in that the work that's put in the plan that's being provided does pay dividends and is producing a high yield in a pretty short amount of time. And so the confidence and the certainty of what our training and what our players look like as they train, they expect results and they want more than what they currently have. Well, there's lots and lots to do. It becomes more situational now. There are core things that always need to be addressed within our offense, defense, and special teams. So the core strategies and some of the improvements that we've self-studied over this offseason certainly make a difference. But now you put it in context of 2 overtime losses. You talk about now playing on the road late in the season to win the Coastal. There are contexts now that we have to work and be situational and very specific to address, and we can in the spring and we can in the fall prior to playing, and so context is really where a lot of it can happen. Yeah, so Bryce, he visits with the doctor today. Hopefully he'll be cleared to throw starting today, so he hasn't thrown yet. And so it'll be a great thing for not only him and our program, so we'll be managing his volume through the spring, which gives Brennan Armstrong a chance to be developed, and then it gives us 2 quarterbacks that are certainly ready and capable. And when you start making conference pushes to win the Coastal or to win the ACC or to accelerate your program, it's always good to have the second quarterback ready. And when you have a player of Brennan's ability, then there's certainly possibilities they can both play at the same time. Last year was year 3 for the program, but it was year 1 in that offensive system. And so we're chomping at the bit to have year 2 in this system with the same quarterback, knowing that, it's arguably year 4, but really in this offensive system it's year 2, and we think there'll be significant growth from a strong start a year ago. When programs become to the point where they're capable and competitive, the difference then becomes confidence and execution into the critical moments, in the critical context, in the critical games, at critical times in the year. And that's usually 1, 2, or 3 plays a game at the right time, against the right opponent, in the right setting. And so ACC, late road games, extended period of play games, critical special teams plays, all those things, the laser becomes more dialed in, the target becomes smaller as to things that can make an impact, but those things do make an impact. So we're starting to move more into the specifics and the context of what it will really look like to take the next step in our program. Yeah, we have really 3 different types of running backs in our system. We have the Jordan Ellis position, which we refer to more as the pistol back, more downhill, slashing, physical, and moving the chains. And so PK is in line for that spot, as well as Mike Hollins coming in as a first year. Then we have a speed back position, which is more of the every down back that not only runs for power but can run for speed and catch the ball out of the backfield. So Lamont Atkins-ish, that's a different type of back. And then there's the big back, which is the mover, the blocker, and occasionally gets some bruising yards, but is more a role player than a ball carrier, and that's Jamari Peacock and kind of the role that he has. So I like who we have. Now, how they're all utilized, that remains to be seen, and has a lot to do with how PK does in terms of Jordan Ellis's role. If that looks good, then you won't notice much difference. If that doesn't look maybe what we're hoping for, then you'll see more committee-ish and more different types of run game than maybe what we saw a year ago. So culturally, I feel really good about our defense, as well as the number of returning players. And so that gives us a collective that I feel very good about. Now, it is hard to replace Juan. It is hard to replace Tim Harris and who he became, and Chris Peace. So, but there were up to 9 other players that had starting experience, and there will be those that emerge and take the next step up, as well as some new players. So I like where we are going into year 4. There's more confidence, there's more experience, there's more certainty, and more expectations, I would say, internally as to what we can accomplish. If our team was healthy, so we have up to 14 key contributors that are out for the spring or partial, and if they were back, this would be an accelerated spring with a true spring game and just smashing into each other and really accelerating our program. We're just short of that because of the injuries, and so without the injuries, I like exactly where we are, but with the injuries, it keeps us a little bit still limited on on what the practices might look like, what the spring game might look like. But again, that's more injury specific now, not roster specific. So we're getting close.